know, you better call somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, no, stop. Tonight, it's not about me. It's not about singing along with sing-songs. It's about legends. It's about legends of the USWA wrestling territory. And when you talk about Southern wrestling, it's the one mainstay you talk about. Standing here in front of what I am sure is a room full of history, wrestling history, and I am in awe, and I'm honored to stand in front of you. But I'm also honored to do this. I'm going to induct tonight a couple of real friends of mine. Real friends of mine. These guys were with me when my children were born, and they were with me the first time I ever went to jail. So I love these guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest inductees into the USWA Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, JC Ice, Wolfie D, PG-13.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Welcome once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D and my man Jimmy across the street. Jimmy, what did you think about the Hall of Fame? That's going to be the topic of today's show. Obviously, we're going to recap our experiences. What was your experience?
Man, do you ever feel like, have you ever felt like this where you know everybody basically in the room, but they don't know you? Do you know what I'm saying? Even though I officially know them and I've interviewed God, how many of them, right. But it was all like no face. It was just,
you're a voice.
Yeah, I was a voice in the distance. And it's so crazy, man, because, of course, Randy knew who I was. I don't know if Randy's just better at stuff, but, dude, it was just awesome. I mean, I really feel like it was awesome. It was surreal, kind of. And, and like you were talking with Kevin on the previous episodes, you guys were talking about, man, we're like buying in. Like, this is awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was hard not to buy in, man, because, it just felt like an event. It felt like something important. And
it was. I thought, it's definitely a group of people that, like we said before, probably won't happen again. I'm going to go out here. I'm not going to say where I heard it, but I did hear there's a possibility to do it again next year. But how many of the people that were there can be there again, et cetera? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who knows, man? But it was awesome, and I can't wait to. I mean, I know you got clips. I know you've got the whole speech that me and Jamie did. I know you got some other clips from the show, and you walked up to people and did little stuff. Although I wasn't with you, so I don't know none of it. And The other thing is that being in the back, waiting, we were like eighth to come out.
I know.
I was like,
semi-main.
And so it was loud back there, everybody talking and stuff. I couldn't hear other people's speeches. Right. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of that. And I know you didn't get the whole show, but I'm pretty sure that it was recorded, the entire show, and it should be available in the future. I don't know when or if that's even 100%, but I'm pretty sure about that. But yeah, man, I couldn't hear the speeches, but just getting to see the guys and take some pictures with some folks I ain't seen in forever. Danny Davis, man, come on, that's awesome.
Oh, dude.
And he was happy to see me. You know what I mean?
I know good. He was,
and, man. Jamie being Jamie. I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
Right.
But he eventually made it there, and I thought his speech was really good. So I was kind of worried before we went out as to what he may or may not say and all that. And right before we walked through the curtain, he's like, I have no idea what I'm going to say.
Oh my God.
But it was good. It was really good.
It was very good.
It was, like I said, man, it was it was cool because something I noticed, man, and I don't think I've even said this to you, but as I looked around at the people that were in attendance, like not the wrestlers, but the fans, I saw a lot of PG-13 shirts, more than any other shirt of any wrestler that was there. I saw a lot of PG-13 shirts, not ones that they bought that night, but ones they had previously bought. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but there was a lot of them.
I totally agree. And again, I somewhat stationed myself around your area, so I wasn't necessarily thinking like, is this just because they're coming to this area, but yeah, dude, I think you all had the number one shirt. I mean, I even saw a dirty white boy tank top that I wanted to take off the dude and run away. but yeah, that was, but honestly, yeah, I think you're right, man. I didn't see, I honestly don't even think I saw any other people in t-shirts randomly, maybe, like a Jerry the King Lawler, Bobby Eaton t-shirt or something, but yeah. PG-13 was definitely the number one shirt in there. The various forms of PG-13 shirts. So
it was humbling, to say the least. It was so good to come out there and accept that. It was like I said in the speech, man. It's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Memphis, man, just being recognized as one of the top teams to ever wrestle in Memphis is a huge honor to me, man.
Well, you guys are, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. But it was cool, man. So, I mean, I don't know what else really to say other than it was just it was humbling. It was awesome to see the fans, and it was awesome to see the guys, and it was a great event, and I think everybody enjoyed it. It lasted a little bit. Some of the guys, old wrestlers are like, oh, dang, can we get out of here?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, man. Calm down. Yeah. You're being acknowledged for something. Shut up. Suck it in.
Well, do you want to take a little break here, and we'll come in and start our recap of the events? Do you
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. I think that's a good idea. So, all right. Well, we'll be right back with more talking about the official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame 2024 class and all the fun stuff that happened. We'll be right back after these messages with the Hall of Famer Wolfie D.
Hi, and welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Oh, my schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
Maybe it's time to embrace the joy of staying in. With comfortable beds, pillow and decor, mood lighting, and so much more, you can turn your bedroom into the place to be.
Oh, sounds like a dream.
We've got you. Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/sleep to create your dream bedroom today.
Hey folks, to get your official Live It in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, we are back, and coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to start playing those clips for you and the speeches that Jimmy recorded for us. I know you're going to have some video on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to load it up with video and all of our social media sites. So y'all keep an eye on that. That's coming very soon. The cool part is I started this episode with Road Dogg's introduction, to y'all's thing. Yeah. And so before the clips start officially, I'm going to play the hip hop song that you should have.
The Hall of Fame rap.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame rap. So before the clips start, we're going to kick into that, and that'll set that off. So y'all will enjoy that. I really felt like that came out way better because, and I'm not saying my part in it at all. I'm just saying, when you're recording a song, you you want to be like, okay, let's take this in segments. So you rap the first 4 bars and then you rap the next 4 bars. We couldn't really do that. Our situation didn't allow us to do that.
Yeah.
Literally,
I played it on my headphones and rapped it when you couldn't hear the beat on the other end of the phone, and I'm just sitting there rapping, and you lined it up, and it sounds great, man. And again, I'm gonna give shout out to Spaceman Jones for that beat.
Sick beat. Sick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sounded great. And it really sounds good in a car. You said that too, man, but it really does. If you got a system and can crank it up when it plays, it's good.
That was the test,
man. And then what you did, there's a couple of people actually asked me if Jamie was in there because of the way you doubled my voice on some of those parts. It sounded just like Jamie, I thought.
Thanks.
So that was good.
No, and I mean, that to me, you know, I was just like, man, it's missing those little ad libs and those little doubles. And I was like, you know, and my favorite one is where I kind of delayed it just a second. So it's, you say that Memphis thing, and then it's like just off it just a second. And I did that kind of on purpose. But anyway, thank you for saying that. I mean, the groundwork was laid with the music. The incredible beat, you know, was awesome. I'm not thinking about that beat a lot now, actually. It's like ingrained in my head. And then your vocals on top of it, excellent. The stuff you said was really good. You know, the only one thing is it's funny because like, you know, like if we would have had more time, like, because you say T is for thug or T is for terrible. H is for hell. You know, I'm thinking it would be cool if we could have had somebody go like T is for terrible. H is for, you know what I'm saying? Like add like little staccato things into it. And, but we didn't have time.
Well, Mr. Producer, you play with it some more. We can have a second version, a remix.
We'll do the remix. Maybe more vocals too, because it's only a minute long. But So. But yeah, y'all hear that in just a bit, but I'm very happy about that. And then, you know, so I'll tell a little bit of my deal. So basically, I think it was 1,100 miles and 52 hours. I don't know how that matches up to the Memphis loop. You know what I'm saying? It probably was just a bit shy, but still, I felt like I was a road warrior that day, man. So, I came to Nashville on Friday, met up with my son, stayed the night, picked up Ben Jordan. That was the important part, too. Got to ride out there with Ben. And, you know, if you go back and look in 90s USWA, and you'll see early 1990 USWA, and you'll see a lot of Ben Jordan. But anyway, picked him up at his exit, and we headed on in. And, you know, Ben is a Marine, so he's like, you know, 10 o'clock, Jimmy, but be here at 10:30, but 10 o'clock is late. And I'm like, what? And I didn't make 10, but I wasn't as late as 10:30. But anyway, so we meet up, hit the road, and, you know, we're just talking and just listen. I'm just listening to all these stories, and I'd be like, hey, Ben, you know, tell me a story. And then he'd be like, well, I don't want to record that one. I'm like, come on, man. But he had some good ones. And, you know, just the cool part is like, you know, I obviously could not bug you the entire weekend, right?
Like, I was pretty busy, man. I mean, it was kind of hard to mingle at all, you know, get the pictures that I got with people because I had to stay at the table, and then there was only an hour break in between the meet and greet and the actual Hall of Fame, and I had to run over to the hotel room, change clothes for that. And then by the time I got back, you know, nobody said there was a meeting. I never heard that, but I just had an idea that Brandy would probably want to go over some stuff before it started. And sure enough, we did have a little meeting over there. So I'm glad I got back over as quick as I did. And
man, Randy, I said it to him. I think I said it on our Facebook post, but I posted and I said Randy was the hardest working man in show business that weekend. He just wasn't moving. I mean, Terry Golden was doing a lot too. I won't knock that. He was doing a whole lot. But the cool thing that I'll say about this whole deal, bro, was y'all's table was packed, man. You know, and you had a very busy table, and I hope that, you know, the costs or the money reflected that. You know, it was a cool corner for you all to be in. And really, I was telling my brother this too, man. I was like, this is almost like a Smoky Mountain reunion too, you know, because
Yeah.
You had Dirty White Boy, you had Dr. Tom, you had, well, you guys too, and then
Rock
you
and
had
Roll.
Rock and Roll. And dude, I mean, come on, am I missing anybody? I mean, I don't think anybody else.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway, though, excellent show, and really cool, because it was your great part of USWA comes in segments. Your introduction in the 93, your 94, you're getting some road. Some steam on you. Exactly. 96, though, with that USWA Smoky Mountain feud, you guys doing the WWE. I mean, dude, what a crazy year, and then, but the cool thing I liked about it is that Smoky Mountain feud. And I thought that was very well done. And I'm sure Randy and Kevin and Terry Golden Story, whoever, they booked it and they knew what was going on, but that Randy had a strong influence on that because
for sure.
Putting all that together. But it was cool, man. I mean, obviously, have you seen Heels Part 2 yet?
I've watched a couple of episodes. I haven't watched all of it yet.
Oh my God. Well, there's a segment where Wild Bill, I've decided that, have you seen that they have a podcast on there?
No.
Oh my God. Wild Bill has a podcast with one of the other guys that's kind of in the locker room. And I think
I did see that actually.
And they're walking into a convention together because I guess this dude's going to help him out. And I was like, oh my God, this is Wolfie and I. And he was like, you're not going to do all that fanboy shit, are you? And he's like, you're not going to be a fanboy all day, are you? And I'm like, God, that sounds like something Wolfie would say to me. And then I only really fanboyed out for the one tag team that I will never not be able to, and that was Rock and Roll, man. But you know what? It's so funny. Like it's like Robert wasn't there automatically, but then Jamie wasn't there automatically. So, one thing that's really funny is Ben and I, we were walking over to the room just before 3:30 when it started. Yeah. And we see Jamie's wife walking up the steps, and I see Jamie parking, or it looks like he's either parking or pulling out of the driveway and the parking lot. And then I'm like, Wolfie, he's here. I promise you he's here. And you're like, until he's in this building, I don't believe it,
Yeah, yeah. And that was, I kept getting reports from different people. Oh, he's here. Well, he's here, but he's in the shower. Yeah. And then he'll be here in a minute. And then it was like an hour later. And then I started to rib with everybody and some of the guys and the fans that were standing around waiting on him. I was like, 400 times I had to answer the question, where's Jamie? Is he coming? And I eventually just started saying, yeah, he's next door taking a bubble bath, because it was taking so long. So everybody started saying Jamie was taking a bubble bath. So and he was wet when he showed up. I'm not sure why, but
he was, yeah. And he had a child in his arms. I assume one of his many.
Again. He signed 2 autographs, left again.
Yeah.
So Jamie was at the gimmick table, not even a total of an hour, but we got it done.
Right, you got it done, and the people seemed happy. And then, of course, the Hall of Fame happened, and that was a lot of fun, man. But it was really...
Let me say this real quick.
Of course.
Jamie's line that he said a long time ago, he told me this, and I think Bill told him, and this is why he said this, but he said, if you're going to be late, be so late they're happy to see you. And that was definitely the case Saturday.
Yeah, he lives by that, right? I mean, that is funny. Okay, so I got to tell you this hilarious story. All right. So I'm there, and I first see Kevin. So when Ben and I get there, it's like 12 o'clock or so, right? And we go to the parking lot of the Picture Perfect Event Center, and there's an old timer standing outside, and he's like, hey, you boys wrestlers, that kind of guy. Yeah. And we said, well, he is. And I said, I'm not, but we're going in here. And he was like, have you seen Terry Golden? And he was like, yeah, he's in there. And so we go in there, and you know, Terry, we see Randy who's sitting right there. Then we see Kevin is in there, and then we see Terry. And so I remember at this point introducing myself to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, Jimmy Street, Wolfie D, you know, live and in color, right? And he was like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going? You know, and and then later on in the evening, I come up to him as he's walking by. I come up to him, and I say, hey. And I'll let the people hear it just in a minute on this clip, but I said, hey, Kevin Lawler, Jimmy from Live in Color with Wolfie D, what do you think about the Hall of Fame? You know, how's it feel? And he goes into a spiel, all this stuff. Well, it turns out that the entire time I was there, and I'm pretty positive I even showed him some of the analytics on our podcast, okay? He didn't have a clue it was me. And I sent him a message. This is how I found out. I said, here, let me just read you some of this if you'll permit me. So I sent him a message at Tuesday. I said, hey, man, that was a lot of fun. 1,100 miles in 52 hours, but it was totally worth it. And he replies with, you came to the show. Like he replies with, you came to the show? And I said, yeah, dude, LOL. Sent him a picture, me and him standing there, him making a funny face. He says, man, I don't remember you telling me it was you. And, and I said, I might not have. I interviewed you real quick with my recorder, then ribbed you about a joke. And then this is awesome. What a rib, you know. And he says, yeah, I didn't know that was you. I was in the middle of something and you just ambushed me. And I was thinking, who is this jerk off who thinks it's cool to just put me on the spot like that without asking if it's cool? LOL. I said, oh my God, that makes it even better. He was like, you have to tell this on the podcast. And he says, I said, I promise you. And he was like, I got hot and almost cussed you. But then I was like, forget it. I'm going to put everything over. So yeah. I found out Kevin Lawler didn't have a clue who I was. So that was kind of what I was talking about in the intro there. But
that's Kevin.
Anyway, yeah.
Part of there too.
I mean, dude, it was a blast. And then Ben and I booked the territory after the evening was over. You know, he told me some great stories, and not any of them would he let me record, though, unfortunately. So I got a couple out of him, but mostly they were his just wanting to say what he wanted to say and not have to worry about it being recorded. So, you know, sometimes you can understand that, you know. So,
sure, for sure.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of things I'll never say on here.
Right, exactly. I've tried to get you sometimes, but you won't ever do it. So, but dude, I just want to say thank you to Randy Hales, thank you to Terry Golden, thank you to Kevin Lawler. You know, seriously, you guys. I mean, you made an incredible time, and I'm, you know, I was a huge fan going into it. Now I'm an even bigger fan, man. And it was just cool to see everybody together, and I had a blast, and got to meet some great listeners, dude. People putting us over like $1 million bucks, man. Yeah, so that meant a lot, man. You know, just because it's nice to, you know, we get messages and we see the numbers, and obviously people are listening, but it's even better when people tell you, hey, you're doing some cool stuff. So we appreciate that for sure. Thank you, Brandon, Jenny Lawrence. Thank you. You know, we met Mike Needham, Gene Jackson, of course, my podcast OG from Another Brother, you know, all that. Some great people. Got to meet some great people. And that's not even including all the amazing wrestlers that were there. So, yeah.
It was definitely a night to remember.
Did you get some FaceTime with King at all?
Just a little bit. And basically we were talking about my Michelle and the Bell's palsy. He was telling me not the great news, but see, I thought JR had a stroke is why his face was like that, but it's Bell's palsy. It just never went away. Gotcha. That's what he was telling me. And I don't think, and I hate to say this, but this last stroke got King, man. It really did.
Yeah.
But
that's sad.
He's smiling, he's happy, and he didn't look frustrated when he couldn't find his words. He just couldn't find words.
Yeah.
But he's good.
Well, Another person that was incredible, and I know he has his good days and bad days, but I got to tell this story real quick on air if you're okay with that. But on the way back, we're just, after the signing ended, you needed to go do your thing. Ben Jordan and I, we go back to the hotel room. We're going to change into the evening wear. Yeah. And so we're walking over and we see a lady standing outside. And as I don't know Bill's, wife and so as we're walking up, I see Bill Dundee looking out his door, like he's got the door open and stuff. And Ben's walking on the inside of me, so he's not necessarily visible to Superstar yet. Okay. Yeah. And Superstar gives me, when we make eye contact, and I guarantee this might be the only time that I almost felt like he was like almost not terrified, but like, oh my God, the marks have followed me over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure that's when he's a big one. Look at that guy, and I'm like, no, sir. And he goes to close the door and I'm like, no, sir, don't. I want you to meet somebody. And he stopped. And then Ben finally comes up, and I'd say, I think you know this guy right here. And Ben breathed to me under his breath, Jimmy, shut up. He doesn't know me. That kind of thing. and as Ben is saying that, Bill's like, of course I know my boy Ben Jordan, like that. And yeah, so they talked for a minute, and that was really cool and very, very cool. And so it was awesome to get to see that, because it's like you and Gypsy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be like you getting to see Gypsy. So, that kind of stuff. So it was very cool. And yeah, I didn't get to talk to King. I felt like his table was crowded, and I just it was never the right opportunity for me to just go up and say, hey buddy, how you doing? Podcast Jimmy here, but anyway, so it was cool, man. Very cool to get to meet Bill though. And I definitely appreciated that. So anyway, but yeah, Ben and I, we might've popped a few Miller Lights and enjoyed ourselves the rest of the evening, and then we hit the road. But you did take me to dinner, man. I appreciate that, bro. So
I did. Me and you and my son, Chef, Braden's mama, and nice Perkins.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. I think you were judging me the whole time though, because you're like all eating clean, and I just was like, I think you were silently judging me, honestly.
Negative.
Okay.
I wish I could eat some different stuff, but I'm trying to be health conscious now.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I should have ordered that too, but it was just like, man, I kind of feel like he's like saying like, you're an idiot. You should eat better. No. You're no spring chicken.
I was really actually going, damn, I wish I could eat that bacon.
Well, I would have given it to you,
Oh, me. Well, man, let's get on with the show and let the folks listen. That I'm sure there's listeners that were there, but there was a lot of you that didn't get a chance to make it, too far or whatever. And so we're going to give you some clips, and I think we got some good stuff for you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be
after
fun.
The clips, we will come back with Ask the Hall of Famer, Wolfie D, anything.
I like it. Be right back after these messages.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D. Hey folks, this is Wolfie D here, and if you are looking to buy or sell a home in Tennessee or Southern Kentucky, you're going to want to call my buddy, the rock star realtor, Benji Bowie. And you say, Wolfie, how do I get in touch with this rock star? Well, you can call him directly at 615-390-8216. You can go to his website, bowiehomes.com. That's B-U-I-E homes.com. Or you can email him at benbowie34@gmail.com. When you need a home, you need the Rockstar Realtor.
Benji is a member of Exit Realty's Garden Gate team in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Yeah. PG-13 Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2024. Give it up. Spaceman Jones with the beat. Here we go. The 90s was ours, and we did it with pride. 15-time tag champs, what a hell of a ride. Rock and roll couldn't beat us, so Tommy and Doug, Knox Mother's dirty white boy who called themselves thugs. T is for terrible, H is for hell. Ha! PG both been locked up in county jail. The kid was real, and we were immature punks. Buddy Wayne couldn't stand us cause we didn't wear trunks. We did it our way, in and out of the ring. Bought a real rap swagger to the Memphis thing. You can hate it, you can love it, we just did our thing. Still true to the game, now we Hall of Fame. PG-13, put respect on our name. Yeah.
Welcome to everyone. Thank you for being here. We hope you enjoy the evening because the rivalry for the ages is what we were talking about. And this went on for, I don't remember how many years.
I think it dates back to about 1976.
Oh, man, we'll talk a little bit about the different cards involved, the new shields involved, our haircuts. We're talking about for the ages.
Was there a greater
No greater feud ever had a Hall of Fame. Let's start by bringing out, by the way, this is a tribute to Mama Rose. Let's bring out to begin with.
Was that a hint for me?
Yes, you.
Perfect.
You're going in the Hall of Fame. How you feel, buddy?
I feel like going in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famers and legends and people who mentored me when I moved to Memphis when I was just 18 years old. So for those of you who don't know, I got into media in Arkansas, do radio, TV, I host Arkansas State Sports. Arkansas, come on out. And the cool thing is, a lot of Memphis wrestling fans in Arkansas, everywhere I go, people talking about two names. Those names are Jerry the King Lawler and the superstar Bill Dundee. They created magic, they created memories, and they left us a rivalry for the ages. So tonight, we are all here collectively to honor two true legends who've done so much for Memphis wrestling. We are here tonight for Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, and I want to say personally, thank you to Jerry and Bill for all they've done for my career and my life, and we are all here tonight for you guys.
All right, this next man doesn't need introduction, but he is the president of the low budgets, Reggie B. Fine.
Also, podcasts.
What's up, you low budget? Jerry Lawler and Bill Superstar Dundee. I love Bill Superstar Dundee. Wait a minute. But Jerry Lawler, I like him. I love Jerry Lawler too. What you looking at? You hear things? Boy, I tell you. You people over here in Jonesboro, Mississippi, I don't like it. Oh, Jackson, Tennessee, my man. Jackson, Tennessee, I love
Reggie be fine, baby.
But back to the rivalry though. Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, I cannot believe they used to fight each other. We didn't even have teams that day when they started fighting each other. Alright, this a rivalry. I seen them fight one time ago. That was on the cheeseburger in McDonald's line. And they were the last one. A real talker, let me get off this thing. Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, what a heck of a feud. The rivalry is supposed to be a rivalry. But I know for a fact that Bill Dundee would kick Jerry Lawler's ass anytime. But thanks for y'all having me here. I love you, Bill, and I love you, King. So y'all know, y'all been putting y'all thing down for a minute moon, ever since the Jackson 5 broke up, and that was in 1963. So y'all keep on doing what y'all doing, King, and Bill Dundee. I love both of y'all, man.
Ben Jordan, we're at the Memphis Hall of Fame. What are you thinking?
Oh, this is a great time, Jimmy. I love it.
Thank you, Ben. Sometimes love. James Brown. Oh, he said Dave Brown. I thought he said James Brown. I was like, that's Dave. It's not James.
I want to say that this wrestling has been really, really good for me and my family. And I've met some great friends all over the world. And it was two guys that I really fell in love with that we're talking about now. I fell in love with all of them, but I'm talking about, we're talking about these two guys now. And it was Jerry King Lawler. I was introduced by Pryor Frazier to Jerry. And Pryor told Jerry, said, Jerry, muscle head, whatever, a little short, stocky guy, but he can get the job done. So Jerry said, you know what?
Pablo's. Jerry,
this is pleasure. Over in Arkansas Friday night.
Jerry, this is good.
And I want to see what he can do. I went over to Lalo, Arkansas, that Friday night, and I ran into a guy named, he was a high flyer, man. And man, Frankie, and I'm telling you, he took me around, and Frankie went out there and said, can you keep up, kid? I said, yes, I can keep up. And you know what? I got out there and I told Frankie to him up there, everything Frankie called, I was right there. And I was so proud.
Is he talking about
that? I got back to the dressing room, Jerry King Lawler, he said, man, you are nothing but a little hot dog. He said, can you make Memphis wrestling on that Saturday morning? And I said, you know, I can make it. And that's how I met Jerry Jarrett, man. I met Jerry Jarrett, and then I met Bill Dundee. But when I used to go to all the matches, but Jerry Lawler was my favorite. I'm talking about Ric Flair, one of the dirtiest man that wrote the book. It was Jerry the King Lawler. Because he was a heel, big time. I'm talking about, he came out one night with, I don't know, he had about 25 chains that the referee took off of him. And he was my idol with him and Sam Banks. And I love Jerry Lawler from this day on. And then I met a little guy called Bill Dundee from Australia.
Jane Dundee and Kevin Lawler.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
We'll share the Bible hope with you, Mr. Lawler. And you know what? The best thing to me growing up as the son of the superstar Bill Dundee was when he was kicking Jerry Lawler's butt, man. That's my greatest thing. I thought, yeah, you did it, Daddy.
Well, I was going to say, that was the greatest thing of your childhood. You must have had a pretty bad childhood. Because we all know that my dad was kicking your dad's ass the majority of the 50 years of that rivalry.
Get up there, LP. Tell him what's up, damn it. Uncle Tony.
Let's ask the people. Let's ask the people.
Bill Dundee, right there.
And now what about with Jerry the King Lawler? Well, one of the things that we want to do tonight, just get right here because, it's a little bit different for Jamie and myself, because just like everybody here, we grew up, those weren't just the guys that we saw on TV like everybody else, those was our fathers, so we saw these guys, not only as our fathers, but also as our heroes, and then just made, our life, so special, growing up with these guys, and then,
Like if your dad ever pulled the strap down before you're around you, I just want to know.
No comment.
You know, there's just something that I still to this day, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if they were working. I'm watching Bill Dundee, Jerry Lawler match, man, and my dad is really kicking your dad's ass, bro. I promise you. I was watching it. I don't know if them dudes were working. I still don't know.
Well, I'll give you a little insight on that. The parts when your dad was kicking my dad's ass, they was working. But the times when my dad was kicking your dad's ass, that was a total shoot, 100%.
And you know what else, man? You know your dad shaking my mother's head, man. That's not, come on. You know how traumatizing it is at 8 years old when your mother and father both come home wrong.
Well, you know, I was real young back then too, but from what I understand, that was actually an improvement. But anyway, all this aside, you know, we're here tonight just like everybody else. You know, we want to just, you know, pay homage and respect to two guys that, I mean, not only was the greatest rivalries, you know, over the past 50 years, but also the greatest tag team partners, you know, over the past 50 years. And I mean, these are two guys, two men, two icons, two legends that not only just, you know, stood the test of time, but also grew a rivalry of the ages. And we're here for these guys tonight, just like everybody else. And when they come out here,
Brandon, what do you think about all this, man?
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's been a great night. Great night.
What do you think, Jenny?
It's been a fantastic show. I've been really impressed.
That's awesome.
Gentlemen, welcome. It is good to see both of you always. Anything you want to say about the rivalry, or do we just keep going?
Well, let me just say, one minute. I want to just say about the rivalry. I think see the students, they know all about the rivalry. But I just want to say thank you, everybody that's come here tonight. It's been a great honor, and it's been a great night to see you all out there tonight.
Kicking your ass for the last 20 years.
We have a special presentation for you guys tonight. Artwork, which was commissioned, and there it is, one for each of you. It shows the two of you being interviewed by
nobody can do it better than you. Jerry Lawler versus Jerry Lawler together. Don't get no better, man. I promise you. Woo! I love you, man. And this right here is for you. And Kevin has one for the kids, but y'all will always be our day, you know, Kevin. Right here.
tell right now about the
and she say to me, son, you're full of bloody shit.
Jamie Dundee and a live mic.
You know, I have to agree with everything that Jamie said. You know, the reason we wanted to do these belts tonight was just, you know, a symbol, you know, of, you know, just the excellence that you guys were, you know, as rivals and as, you know, probably the greatest, you know, tag team partners in the history of Memphis wrestling, and that's what these belts are here to represent.
I just want to say thank you so much for these belts. They mean so much, especially when I look at my name is on top of bills.
real king, man. There's nobody better than you to do it, man. I'm for real, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Rivalry for the ages. Superstar Bill Dundee. Jerry the King Lord. Please enjoy this tribute video for these two fantastic wrestlers.
So for all my heart and passion, on behalf of every fan in this arena, wrestlers in the back, and people whose lives they touch, congratulations, Zach and Robert. You are truly legends, and you earn this forever. Thank you for inspiring me and everyone else who ever dared to dream. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for the newest inductees of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
You know, a lot of people wait all their lives to be the hero. I'll raise mine. Thank you, kid. Thank you. You know, being a kid starting out in Memphis, Tennessee, what an education that we all got. And sometimes we forget about all the things we done. Because Robert and I, we wrestled in Memphis when we left and went to different territories, but we always took Memphis, Tennessee with us. The first place that we went to was in Louisiana, in Mid-South Wrestling. And I want to honor this guy right here, Bill Superstar Dundee. Bill, he took Memphis to Louisiana. And we went,
because Bill Watts said, them two little sons of bitches will never get on.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But understand, taking Memphis to Louisiana, we went from high schools to the big arenas, to the central plexus, to the damn Superdome. Remember those years, taking Memphis to North Carolina? And thanks for all you fans out here. See, thanks to all of you, because none of us could be here today if it wasn't for all y'all. Thank you very much. We never forget who we came from. You fans not only made us tag team champions, but you made us 9-time world tag team champions. Now, I don't know if you even know this or not, because what an honor it is to be put in the Memphis Hall of Fame. But Robert and I were inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame, and we never even wrestled there. All right? Woo! And what I'm saying, it all came from Memphis. What an education. You know, Jerry Lord put Robert and I together. What was that, 1982? 1982, and we never looked back. To look around here, especially look right here, some of my friends that and I try to tell my son Kerry, you know, this business and the wrestlers, nowadays they don't bond. We used to bond. There's Tommy Ricks, Bill Gilbert, Bill Dundee, Reggie. You see, I love y'all. Because y'all are part of my life. I love you very much. I love you too, buddy. But to be a part of one occasion to be here, just to be put into the Memphis Hall of Fame is one of the greatest nights of my life, and I will never forget it. Thank all your fans very much.
We've been all around the world. My first came to Memphis when I was 17 years old. My brother Ricketts, I was 16 years old and we were at the Coliseum, and my brother said, look, I'm fighting Jerry Lawler tonight. As soon as this match is over, I'm going to be like Elvis Presley. I want you to have the car running and we'll beat the crowd out. I said, okay, brother. They come out of the ring, he jumps in the car, he said, let's go. I went down, I take a right on Highland Avenue. There's a car in front of me. My brother said, flash the lights at me. I'm 16 years old, I flash the lights, and the guy does this, he shouts Byrd. My brother said, what's the shot with Byrd? He said, pull up beside me. I went around, I pulled up beside him, Rick Gibson jumps out. So got his outfit on, he punched the guy through the window, and the guy's girlfriend or wife, she goes, no, Ricky, no, he's your biggest fan.
Ricky knows this story by heart. He was just mouthing it.
Well, Ricky says, I've been around the world, but there's nothing like wrestling here in Memphis, Tennessee. I've always appreciated it, and God bless you guys.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a wonderful life. You got a whole lot more to come. God bless you all.
Thank you all very much for taking time out of your busy lives to come celebrate with all of us fortunate enough to be inducted into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's an absolute honor for me to be here. For those of you who don't know, I live in Clearwater, Florida these days. I'm an old retired guy, and when they called me to do this, I said, it's 14 hours up there. I don't know. But I grew up, this is my hometown, by the way. I grew up in good old Jackson, Tennessee. Open Arena, back in 1976, was the first time I ever stepped into a wrestling ring, and it was Open Arena. And I wasn't a wrestler. I was one of the guys who was chosen from out back to participate in an amateur night. Oh, that was fun. Anyway, 43 years later, I retired from wrestling, and my wife Julie and I relocated to Clearwater, Florida, and we love it there. The big deal is I miss my children. Dwayne, Sherry, and April Bryant. When they were growing up, I was always gone. I was always on the road, trying to make a living for my family. And they're here tonight, except for April. She had to work. She couldn't make it. And I want to publicly say this right here tonight. I'm very sorry for the times that I wasn't there. Second toll on me over the years. And I want to say it to your mom, I wish she was here. And I'm very sorry for her, for what she had to endure for me, chasing my dream. Anyway, I love you. You shared me with the wrestling world for so many years. And I'll never forget you guys. I love you. Now, Memphis, Tennessee was the best town in the world when it comes to wrestling in those days. Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, they were the inspiration for me going to get into the professional wrestling world. I somehow managed to do it being a small guy. And I'm not going to repeat all the things Doug said out here because that would be silly, but I managed to make it through a lot of scars, a lot of heartache, but if I had to do it all over again with my children's permission, I would do it again. And I want to say thank you. All of you, just wonderful, wonderful fans who truly care about pro wrestling, to take your time and just come out and support us this wonderful, wonderful evening. From the bottom of my heart, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, and I assure you, I thank you. God bless you. Good night.
When I started in 1987 here, I had a lot of great talent, a lot of them sitting out here in front of me, that helped me. And one of them from Dad, y'all know Tommy Gilbert. I think a lot of you girls remember Tommy Gilbert. My my brother Hot Stuff Eddie. We took the train to me, but I had a lot of great partners. My dad was the first partner, my brother probably my second partner, but I had a lot of great partners. And when this guy I'm fixing to end up, he was one of my partners. But now, a lot of guys have forgot about this and everything, but now he's a former Mid-Atlantic champion, a NWA champion, a former USWA heavyweight champion. In 1983, he was AWA Southern Heavyweight champion. He was also, this guy was also, y'all remember a tag team named the Grapplers? It was a massive tag team that was Grapplers. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool. One of them went yellow blue, and it was stacked about that much higher than the other one. And a lot of times at the end of their match, he would kick his boot like this right here, and then the finish, he would kick it in the head with his boot. Well, that was the Grapplers. Well, the Grapplers wound up turning in at one point, whether you knew this or not, but the Dirty White Boys. Y'all remember the Dirty White Boys? The Dirty White Boys. Well, the Dirty White Boys were real successful also. They come through here. And this guy was looking up, he was also a two-time USA Tag Team champion with myself. And he helped pilots all over. I'm going to the WWF in about 1996. And he had a good run up there for a couple of years. But this guy, he taught me so much as far as chemistry, about the wrestling business. Like I said, I had a lot of great guys to learn from. Dan Davis, Tommy Rexford, Jerry Lawler, everybody that's all the same time. Thank goodness I got to learn from all these guys. But this guy right here, he was my partner, and on the road with me for about 2 years, but we've been friends basically my entire life. When I was like 10 years old, I was on the road with my brother. My brother went out one night, so I stayed with the Grapplers. I wound up underneath the Grapplers bed in the morning time, and Tony got up, Tony got up, and I sat on my feet, laying out under his bed. He said, "Man, what are you doing?" I said, "Gosh, y'all got the room at 60 degrees, and you give me one little blanket to cover myself," and so I about froze to death. But anyway, listen, I'm not going to speak any longer. Let's bring this guy out, and I think y'all guys are knowing as the Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony.
Well, you can't top that. I mean, it don't get much better than that. I tell you what, I don't have a lot to say, but I really appreciate the fact that they would have, y'all have me here tonight and give me the word. It just means so much with all the accomplishments that I've done. This is one of the greatest accomplishments. Just absolutely wonderful.
No. What I mean is more good. I'm sorry. I apologize. AEW's killing it. It's horrible. I'm sorry to say. I hate to just pick on it. It's hard to watch because it is. Right.
There would be no great wrestling. There wouldn't be any wrestling.
Make it different.
So I'm here to thank each and every one of you. Go for it. Thank you very, very much.
That's a big one. It's horrible.
Thank you all very much.
Together again. This event wouldn't have been what this event is without Dave Brown and Shane Russell, and I thank you guys very much. As a kid, from the time I was 10 years old, I got hooked on this business, and I was able to look right up the ring, and I see these people out here that were my heroes. Every one of them, from Mo, today, to Tony, especially when we'll skip you, but to the superstar Bill Dundee, used to sell his pictures. I love Tom Pritchard, he's great, I like that Alberto. I was scared of the Dirty White Boy. But this has been fantastic. It's my job to induct the guy. And the first word that comes to my mind right now is this man is a survivor. This man is 25 years old. You might not know this thing. This man is 25 years old in the Bronx, New York, bro. He was shot. He almost died. He died and they got him back to life. But what did he do? Everybody say with me. He survived.
Yeah.
He survived. And then he started working out and getting big. Impressive street, impressive look. And his name is the truth, so he started to be a wrestler. A million bodybuilders wanted to be in this business, and Jamie Davis, the greatest trainer ever, Tom Pritchard, a great trainer too. How many bodybuilders have you seen that were here for a cup of coffee? Absolutely. But what did Strowman do? He survived. He survived, right, people? What did he do? He survived. Damn right.
I'm a survivor. Where's that at?
Retired from wrestling. He had a heart attack.
If I make Gene laugh, I can have it.
But he's here today, so what
If I
did
make
he
you
do?
laugh, it'll be a
He
movie.
survived. It is my honor. The person I talked to, any wrestler I talked to 1,200 more than anybody. I am proud. It's an honor. Want to bring him out here and induct him into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. My friend, Harry Del Rio,
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Randy. Randy, that was some speech. The boys in the back wanted to start a GoFundMe page. Wrote a couple of things down. People that I have to thank. This started about 25 years ago. A lot of people know this, a lot of people don't, but I was a professional magician right before I started bodybuilding and getting into fitness. So I have to thank Mr. Jeff McBride, master magician and master of magic and teacher. I also have to thank Neo International, John Cohen with Big Vino for WWE and WCW. He was the guy that taught me a lot of things. He's the guy that hurt me for my first wrestling match ever, which, by the way, my first wrestling match was a tryout with WWE in Monday Night Raw. Also, I have to thank Jerry Lawler and rest in peace Brian Christopher, my best friend, who I miss very dearly, and I hope he's resting in peace. I'll tell you what, guys. Wrestling has been like another life to me, and going up and down the road, whether we were driving or flying, it was like a family. I rode up and down with guys like Danny Davis, Tom Pritchard, Bruno, and I love all you guys. Hey, this is what you guys to know. Doug and all the rest of you guys, when I tell you I love you right before I hang up, I mean from the bottom of my heart, I love you. And I really appreciate you guys being a part of me and being a part of my family. I want to thank my friends for coming out, my pastor Terry Hunt and his wife. I want to thank my wife Marsha. I love you, hon. I thank my friend Dave and his son Elvis for coming, very supportive, helped me. And I want to thank each and every one of you that tuned into Channel 5 Wrestling, that came to the Mid-South Coliseum or any one of the towns that we were at.
Oh, dude, they gave away all the Gilbert ones. I'll have some more. Okay, no problem.
Thank you. And have
Next guys, JC Ice and Wolfie D, better known as PG-13. I go all the way back, and Jamie is probably the guy that I've known probably
the longest in my entire life. I go all the way back to North Jamie since I was like 4 years old when we lived in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and Bill and Jamie, his brother lived in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I was kind of starting to kind of get into the wrestling business a little bit around the same time where Jamie and Wolfie broke in. But like I said, I'm just kind of standing in tonight because the person who actually is going to be inducting them was unable to be here tonight, but they sent the special video over.
Tonight, it's not about me. It's not about singing along, sing songs. It's about legends. It's about legends of the USWA wrestling territory. And when you talk about Southern wrestling, it's the one mainstay you talk about. Standing here in front of what I am sure is a room full of history, wrestling history. And I am in awe. And I'm honored to stand in front of you. But I'm also honored to do this. I'm going to induct tonight a couple of real friends of mine. Real friends of mine. These guys were with me when my children were born, and they were with me the first time I ever went to jail. So I love these guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest inductees into the USWA Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, JC Ice, Wolfie D,
Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2024. Give it up. Spaceman Jones with the beat. Here we go. The 90s was a high. The best of ride. Every time that camp was a hell of a ride. Watch the color to the leader. So call me the color. Not as well as dirty white boy. Call me the stars. We is the terrible. H for hell. PG Angel out of the alley. Yeah, but it was real. We were innocent, but it ain't good. They didn't wear stuff. You did it our way. In and out of the ring. All the real rap swagger. You understand? You can hate it, you can love it. You just get our thing. Feel true to the game. Now we all upset. It's 13. Put respect on our name. Yeah.
This got us a job right here.
We owe it on to the hubcap.
I know I'm going to forget some stuff now that I got out here and looking at all you guys, man. This is a dream come true for me. I grew up in Nashville, and my stepfather came into my life when I was around 7, 8 years old. Big Pete, some of you might know who he was. He loved wrestling, and he introduced me to professional wrestling because, to be quite honest with you, I do not remember even knowing that wrestling existed before I saw Memphis wrestling at 7, 8 years old. That's just the first thing I saw. Yeah, I followed the rest of it later, but I fell in love with Memphis wrestling. And this young kid would go to the National Fairgrounds, and one person that I saw there, now we didn't meet there, but I saw this kid walking around in an Elvis jumpsuit, acting like he was this and he was that. And I told my buddy, I said, I'd like to whoop the shit out of him. Yeah, I did, later on in life. But then we met for real in the wrestling business on some independent shows, and we ended up wrestling each other a lot. And they were better matches than all the old guys on the show.
Sometimes we got it, sometimes they don't, man.
So eventually, I was Airwolf at first, and I got into the business. 1989, my stepdad Pete and a guy named Rick Reynolds
took me to a ring in West Nashville. Now this thing was in a barn, okay? It had one side of the barn, didn't have the wall and all that, so it was exposed to the elements, okay? Hose pipes for ropes, carpet on the ground, no canvas over it, it's like cat piss. And we got in there, and there was a wrestler by the name of Gypsy Joe that was in the ring that we were going there to train with and work out with. That was the first time I ever stepped in the ring. And so that was a good introduction to wrestling, right? And these guys know Joe. Yeah. So that's how I got into the business. Met Jamie. Met Chris Champion. He's another one I got to mention while I'm up here. Chris Champion took me under his wing and taught me a lot, man, when I was, 16, 17, getting into the business. And he was doing a thing kind of like an Ugly Kid Joe gimmick. It was early 90s, very early 90s, and the grunge thing was coming along, and he was doing that. He wore some shorts, but it was nothing like the shorts that me and him ended up wearing. But that's what gave me the idea, and Wolfie D came about and started working Jamie Dundee, and then Chris Champion said, you know what, you two should do this together. You should do this together, this would be great. So we come up with this crazy names, like Kamala would say, it's a couple of letters. Chris, I will get political. PG-13, sounded different to me, right? Sounded different. So we come up with that, paint up the shorts. So PG-13 was born. And the first thing that we had for a gimmick, we were heels, first thing we had for a gimmick was we said we had a gold record, right? And it was in a Peter Criss, the drummer for Kiss. When he left, he came out with an album. I promise none of you ever seen the cover of it. But I knew nobody would know what it was. So we said there was a gold record. We'd smash it over the head. And Chris didn't like that idea too much. So we were in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Shelbyville, yeah. The dressing room is like a junkyard, all right? So there's all kinds of stuff. Chris said, I don't care what it is, pick something upside down. And we found a hubcap back there, and we spray painted PG-13 on it. And that's how PG-13 and the hubcap was born, was in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We make our way to Beaver Dam, Kentucky. Jeff Jarrett is on the card in the finish show, and Jamie had got, those VHS recorders, right? The big ones that had the tape in it. That one. So I didn't know Jeff, but Jamie did, and said, "Hey Jeff, take this match for us." And knowing Jeff how I know him now, Jeff stood outside the dressing room and filmed the match for us. We worked at Brick House and I can't remember, somebody else. He took it to his dad, got an appointment at the big mansion, went down there, and Jamie said, before we went in, Jamie said, Wolfie, if we can make him laugh, we got a job. So we walked in, he said, well, let's put this gimmick on I've been hearing about, and we went in a different room, put all of our shit on, put the hubcap around our neck, walked back in there, and Jerry started laughing. He said, and so he asked us, can you guys write a rap? And it was like, no, Jamie can't. So he tells us all this stuff. Hey, I want you to call Jeff and Carney. I want you to call him a Twizzon. And I want you to call Law or Mark. And I want you to do that. So that wasn't me calling them those names. It was Jerry playing a rib on them in our raps and everything. But I got to thank some people, man. Danny Davis is the first one. When we showed up at USWA, I was married to him like almost every night in a singles match. You'd work Ken and we'd come back and Miss Texas did beat you up quite a bit. But I jokingly tell people I was the first hands-on OVW student before OVW was ever a thing. I was trained hands-on by this man every single night. And let me tell you, he taught me how to wrestle, buddy. Let me tell you, I knew how to do all the moves when I got there. I knew how to do the moves. He told me when and why to do them. Who was it? Your dad said, you can teach a monkey to do flips, but you can't teach the monkey when and why to do them. And he taught this monkey how to do flips. Told me when to do them and chopped the shit out of me too. But having been in the ring with Gypsy Joe, I was good with it and all that. Thank you, Danny. You have no idea what you mean to me as far as
Yeah, what you mean to me as far as my career, and I tell everybody you taught me how to work, and blowed me up. I was 19 years old. You were probably, what, 40? And I'd come back gas to the gills, man, and Danny wouldn't be breathing heavily. Other people I want to thank, George Weingroff. He got, I got around him in the independent circuit before I got to USWA, and he taught me a lot. I'm sorry, I got to name all these people. I want to thank you, Jamie. Okay? Seriously, we've had our ups and our downs, but if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be who I was, and I think I helped you. And this,
for you, I wouldn't have been who I was.
Exactly. I think we fed off each other in good ways and bad ways.
Some people get it, some don't, but we got it.
We got it, buddy. We got it. And I'll tell you, I hadn't told him this, I'm going to tell you guys this. On my way here, give it up for Road Dogg, first of all, for doing that for us. He texted me on the way down here, and he's like, hey, man, he said, wrestling's fake. He said, this right here for you today is real. He said, you work to get this, and I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, and don't get in a fight. So, yeah, we're not gonna fight. Here's another people I want to thank real quick. Rick Reynolds, my mom and dad. I had my mom walk to the ring with me. That's what wrestling was able to do for me. My mom came to the ring with me, man, and I know that with the world tour. My stepdad, hey, Tommy and Doug. Tommy and Doug, you guys are still here. You taught us how to draw money. You know, I have it in parts where this person taught me this. That was our first major angle. You taught us how to draw money, and I appreciate you for it. Rock and roll, thank you for putting us over. You put us in the spot to do the other things we did afterwards, and that was awesome. It still gives me chills to think about it.
We beat the rock and rollers breath.
Fucking right. I mean, darn right. Jeff Jarrett gave us our jobs. And rehired me in TNA. Got us in WCW. Jerry Lawler, thank you. A lot of people say, oh, this guy was a Jarrett guy and this guy was a Lawler guy. I feel like we were both, and I appreciate you guys. You're a Dundee, that's right. Jim Cornette got us to the Nation of Domination. Tracy Smothers, Dutch Mantel, Bill Dundee, Chris Champion, Gypsy Joe. And listen, my family's here, and this is the first time, y'all. This means so much to me, you have no idea. My boy Stuart, he went to high school with me, Stu Daddy's over there. Where's my girlfriend? Stand up, baby. Woo! Where's she at?
Right there.
Casey, my daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, Lynn. Raiden, where you at? There's Raiden. Yeah. Hey, that's the first time I had my kids together in quite a while. That means something to me, man. Never mind. It feels good, man. Thank you guys, the fans. Hey, without you, we couldn't have done anything, so thank you.
Let Jamie talk. Yeah. They don't ever talk much. Never talk much, ever. I don't even understand what this does for real. Growing up the son of superstar Bill Dundee, you would expect me to think that this should be something that should be given to me automatically because I'm the son of the superstar. But actually, I love you, Crazy Gabe. My whole entire life has consisted of all the people in this room. Every single one of y'all don't even know that you have a spot in my life. Danny Davis, like you said, taught us how to wrestle. When I was 8 years old, the first time I ever been smartened up to the wrestling business, Danny Davis was managing the Blonde Bombers, Wayne Ferris and Larry Latham, and it was a Saturday night after Nashville Fairgrounds, and I woke up from laughter outside, and I came down the stairs, and sitting out back of my house was Danny Davis, Wayne Ferris, and Larry Latham, and they were with my dad, and I was thinking, this ain't gonna end well for poor old Bill, man. I was like, hey, Pop, and I said, listen, man, you're not gonna give Danny Davis back that canteen, are you? Because that's what he uses to hit people in the head with. And then he said, calm down, son. He said, they're just here because they want me to turn on Jerry Lawler. Now listen, when you're 8 years old, that is a big deal, man. When you're an 8-year-old kid, you are traumatized by the fact that these three dudes are at my house, man. And all night long, I went back to my bedroom and I said, don't you turn on Lawler, Dad. And I stayed all night and I peeked out the window, man, because I didn't want them 3 dudes to jump on my dad, man. And I really was traumatized over this. And then I became 13 years old and we went to Louisiana, and Pat Rose and my dad and me are driving down the road, and there's 8 little miniature beers in the back seat, and I didn't know that nobody else on the planet except wrestlers' kids drank beer since they were 4 years old and get drunk with Tommy Rich and Pierce. To me, that was all normal life. So, for the people to say, Jamie Dundee, man, you're a crazy wild dude. No, I'm not. I'm the son of a wrestler, bro. And that's all I can say about that. All the sons of wrestlers, we all grew up in that world because we come from a world that is a world of fantasy, but it's also a world of reality that we live in, that we come from. And every day of my life, when you get to have people come over your house named Handsome, and named Boogie Woogie Woogie Man, and the King's coming over, and Dr. Tom will be there too. Because Dr. Tom told me at 16 years old, he said, Jamie Dundee, it's better to be thought of as an idiot than open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I never knew what that meant until I was about 40. And at 40 years old, I said, was he calling me an idiot, or was he saying I'm... And then I said, oh, he told me to shut up and just let everybody think I'm an idiot rather than let them really know I was, right? And Dr. Tom, I remembered that my whole life, and thank you. Thank you, Tony Falk, for having one of my first matches with me and letting me shave your head on ESPN television. Jason Baby was on ESPN. My first 4 matches, I was undefeated. I should have quit right then, boys. It would have been great. But honestly, we come from a fictitious fantasy world, except, like Wolfie said, even though we're being inducted into the Hall of Fame, man, as my friend David Willis said to Beautiful Bobby Eaton, it's still real to me, damn it. Yeah! And that's what he meant. And you know what? Without you people, without Crazy Gail and Crazy Michelle and Connie Cook and the Handlers in Louisville and the people in Nashville, without y'all, there is no us, man. So I want to personally thank all of y'all and let you know that I did this and I honor this, and this right here is for you people. And thank you for letting me be Wolfie's partner. Because Wolfie, honestly, he had all the ideas. It was his gimmick. He thought of it first. I just knew the right people. So together, it ain't what you know, it's who you know in this world, by God. And let me tell you something. I knew Jeff attended to his dad. We got him to smile. We get a job. All that happened. And really, no shit, we're in the Hall of Fame, homie. You can't take that away from us. And then you can't take it. And this right here means more to me. This means more to me than my Jerry Springer Award when I was awarded worst guest ever. That was the only award I've ever got, man. So but listen, I just want you people to know there is no regrets in my life. And you know what, dude? We did it our way, homie. Danny, thank you, because I know what 1-2 means. When Danny would say 1-2, punch me in the head real hard, and if I didn't punch it back, 2 would come. And I was like, damn. And he said, 2's really you. You punch me back on 2, and I got it, bro. Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to come out here and sit down next to Spellbinder, and we're going to tell jokes.
Aiden and Casey, your dad's going into the Hall of Fame. What y'all think about that?
It's pretty cool.
All right, thank y'all. Jimmy Street here with Live in Color with Wolfie D, the one and only Reggie B. Fine. What do you think about this Memphis Hall of Fame, man?
Man, it's a nice class, to be honest with you. I love seeing my guys, my peers that I hadn't seen in 30 years. But they could have kept these low budget at home, you know what I'm saying? Look at Handsome Jimmy, he sleep. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I love it, man. I love it. You got to get me back on your podcast.
Any day, man, whenever.
You got to even call me.
Whenever, brother, whenever. Thank you.
You need to call me.
Okay.
And let me know when can you set up a date for me to come on in and let me talk cash shit.
Okay, anytime. Thank you, Reggie.
You got my number, right?
Yes, sir. So Jimmy Street here from Live in Color with Wolfie D with Michael St. John. What do you think about all this? Isn't this awesome?
You know, I'm very humbled, and it is an incredible honor to even be a part of this and to even have been a part of wrestling in Memphis, and to know what Memphis wrestling is, USWA wrestling, CWA wrestling is to the community as a whole today in this day and time. It's mind-boggling, but it's a wonderful testament to the wonderful fans, the people that really make the wrestling business. Make no mistake about it, are the fans and the ones that subscribe to podcasts, that watch videos, that are part of what wrestling is today. I dare say Memphis wrestling is bigger today than it ever was, and I'm just grateful and honored to be a part of someone that hopefully can take this and give it to the next generation.
That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Got to get you on the podcast soon. If Randy will let you.
It'd be my honor.
Thank you, sir. Hey, downtown Bruno, what do you think about this Memphis Hall of Fame, man?
You wouldn't catch me when my mouth was full, would you?
I'm sorry, Bruno.
It's wonderful, man. I'm so proud to be here. I'm a member of the class of 2021, so it's wonderful to see these new people coming in, and every single one of them deserves it. And it's wonderful to be here.
Thank you. LT Falk, this is Jimmy Street with Live and in Color with Wolfie D. What do you think about this Hall of Fame, man?
Yeah, night of history. It's one thing, what a privilege, seeing these guys here tonight. So thankful some of them are still in the game, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Thank you, LT. Good to talk to you. Mike Needham, you're at the Memphis Hall of Fame. What are you thinking?
Oh, this is going to be a great show. They've had Lawler and Dundee here all day, sitting side by side. You're just waiting in there for that to break loose. A lot of people here. A lot of people I've never met here. A lot of people I knew that had never met here. Yeah. It's been a heck of a day.
Put your show over, man.
I'm the host of the Reckless Abandon podcast. This is, something like this, and then Jackson, Tennessee. Jackson's got a rich history in Memphis wrestling. You talk about Lawler and Dundee. They've got the longest match in the history of professional wrestling.
Amen.
Right here in Jackson, Tennessee. Amen. And Bill Dundee will tell you so.
I love it.
Whether you ask him or not.
You ask him. Mike, thank you so much, buddy. It's good to see you.
You too, Jimmy.
Thank you, buddy. Dr. Tom Pritchard, this is Jimmy with Live and in Color and Wolfie D. What do you think about this Hall of Fame stuff, man?
I think this is awesome, man. I'm waiting for my turn to walk up, but I wanted to get a better view, so I had to come out and check this out on stage. And Brandon's doing a great job right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Gene Jackson, you're at the Memphis Hall of Fame. What are you thinking?
I'm excited, man, and it is the feud for the ages. Bill Dundee, Jerry the King Lawler. You see Jamie's running around here, and his line about the roast, the roast line was directed to him. But man, so much that we've been waiting on. Can't wait to see how this all plays out, buddy.
Yeah, I love it. Camden Smith, what do you think about this Hall of Fame, man?
Man, I'm honored to be here. I've always said when I was a little boy, there's pictures of me with all these wrestling legends, and I didn't understand who I was talking to, and sadly those guys are all gone. So to get the chance to be here in Jackson, Tennessee, to see all of Dad's old friends and a lot of legends, man, it really is an honor. And this is so great, man. This is awesome.
Thank you, Cam. Still real Dave Wills. What do you think about this Memphis Hall of Fame, man?
Man, it's tremendous. It's just, aren't even be here. This has been unbelievable, man. It's emotional. It's done so much. It is just totally tremendous. I mean, it's great. It's an honor to be with these guys. It's too real to be damn it.
I love it. Thank you, sir. Kevin Lawler, we know what you think, but what do you think about this Hall of Fame here?
Man, I think it's amazing. I think it's great. So glad that we have such a great crowd that turned out for this tonight. And so many of these guys were able to actually be here and be a part of this. I mean, that's a lot of times one of the hardest things is getting some of these guys actually together because of where they live and what the travel arrangements like and what their schedules are. I mean, that's a lot of times just the hardest thing is the fact that it was all able to come together. It's just amazing. I'm really about how it happened.
Y'all did a fantastic job. I got to commend you on that. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Randy Hales, this has been a spectacular event. How proud of you of this right now?
I'm proud of the talent. I'm proud of everybody that worked hard. Hey, you know what? Want me to give you a scoop?
Yeah.
Give you a scoop. I hadn't been to sleep since Monday night.
Oh, man.
It's around the clock. It's for the wrestling fans. It's for here in Jackson, Tennessee. I'm just thrilled to death. And it's not over yet.
That's right. Thank you.
Here comes, as a matter of fact, Jackson own Danny Davis.
Danny Davis. Tony Falk, this is Jimmy Street from Live in Color with Wolfie D. What do you think about this Hall of Fame?
Man, this is great. We having a great time up here. I'm seeing a lot of people I haven't seen in years. It's just wonderful, Jimmy. It's so good to see you, and I'm looking forward to next year's already.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Handsome Jimbo from Memphis. So congratulations on the Hall of Fame, sir.
Oh, thank you, brother. God bless you, brother.
God bless you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wolfie D, this is Jimmy Street with Live in Color with Wolfie D. What do you think about this Hall of Fame?
Telling me.
Fuck you and fuck Wolfie D. Put this on my opening statement to the podcast.
All right, we are back with Ask Wolfie D Anything, and man, oh man, that was a lot of fun, talking about the Hall of Fame. We had some great clips. I hope y'all enjoyed all of those. Had a lot of fun with that, but yeah, man.
Well, I can't wait to hear it either.
Okay, there you go.
Most of the stuff you have, I haven't been able to listen to yet. So
yeah, well, coming soon. Yeah, or out now, I guess, if they're hearing this. So yeah. Well, the very first question we've got today is from Colonel Custard, and he asked this question. He says, "Congrats on the Hall of Fame induction, Wolfie. Who is your all-time opponent's Hall of Fame?" So I guess, who would you say? That's an interesting question. Who is your all-time?
I guess like my top 4 favorite people that I've wrestled.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Just like, oh God. This is almost kind of like the who's your favorite match.
Right.
It's a hard one. And I mean, I had great chemistry with Danny Davis. We have to put that over. I have to say him. And plus all the things that I learned from him. The rock and roll for, what it did for us as a team. And learned also from them. Let's see. And did you say 4? Is it?
It can be whatever you want. Yeah, okay, he just said, "Who's your Hall of Fame of opponents?"
Okay. Yeah. I guess we'd have to throw Tommy and Doug in there for what it did for us, and it was a great angle. Lasted a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have probably just keep going and going. I'll stick with all those though.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's solid. I like that. Yeah. Well, thank you, Colonel Custard. I appreciate that. Now, the next question is from Cause Effect on Instagram. And actually, you know what? This is funny. I actually recently thought, I wonder if this is real. So I'm glad they asked this question. He says, "Did Billy Travis ever get pissed off about Jeff Jarrett basically stealing his country singer gimmick?" Now, obviously we know Too Cool, PG-13, right? We get that. And it seemed like once they got to the WWE, it was like, I quit believing in coincidences, Wolfie. I quit believing in them. So, I'm thinking, they get to the WWE, Jeff Jarrett's best, tag team partners with Billy Travis. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what are your thoughts?
I don't think Billy wasn't the type to get pissed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not that I've ever seen Billy mad. No, I don't mean that, but over something like that. I think it was one of those things where Billy probably mentioned it like ribbon on the square, meaning he'd joke about it and laugh it off, but probably deep down he knew what it was.
I mean, he had to have,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I remember him, ribbing about it sometimes, but like I said, but not pissed,
Yeah. It's just funny to me, like these Memphis guys get to the WWE, and then all of a sudden Vince McMahon thinks up a great gimmick that's already been done by another Memphis guy. Where is there's got to be something connecting all that right there. So
yeah. And I do know when you're saying like, okay, the vignettes that they did before Jeff debuted, Tony Falk was the driver.
Yeah.
Frank was like his step and fetch, whatever they called him. And Texas. And they all thought they was going with him. And then he ended up having Road Dogg. So I know Frank for sure was pissed off. I don't know how bad the other ones were, but yeah, it made Frank mad.
I think Tony was let down because I've heard this story from LT actually recently. Past weekend at the Hall of Fame. So I've recently heard him talking about this, and he was talking about how, like, they really thought they were going with Jeff. Like, that's part of a deal, and didn't end up happening. But, I mean, Road Dogg, you're going to pay one guy or you're going to pay three people. You know what I'm saying? Right. And Road Dogg also has the great upside of still being able to really wrestle. And you would only get that with Miss Texas, and
his mic skills.
Right, exactly. And the mic skills and the actual singing that he could do, it worked so perfectly. It was really one of the high spots of that WWE era, I think, is that Jeff Jarrett storyline. Yeah. Anyway, well, Billy's not a guy to get pissed, so we like that one. So that's a good answer. The third and final one, and this one is funny, man. And Cause Effect asks one more time on Instagram, and I've never actually heard you say this one way or the other, but it says, have you or anyone you've wrestled with ever used the bathroom on themselves in a match before?
No, I have not. Okay. I've heard of it happening. It's never happened with me in the ring.
Okay. Yeah.
I've heard of guys crapping their pants off a big bump or something like that. And I know now farting on each other, that used to be kind of or put somebody's head scissors and fart on them.
Right. That's kind of common, probably. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I can see like on
me, not to anybody that I know. I guess I probably did know who it was, but at the moment I can't recall. Like, that happened to so and so. But I just know that it has happened.
Well, I know that, like, the great story of Andre evacuating his bowels on Bad News Brown, and so
that's horrendous.
Jeez, that is a giant crap, man. But anyway, I can just I've never heard you say that, so I would have figured that at this point in time I would have heard something about that. But it's an interesting question either way. But
now Jamie has thrown up more than once,
right?
I'm in particular with the rock and roll where he puked on the floor.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. And so I do know that Jamie, apparently, I just had Steve-O on my podcast, and apparently he wrestled Jamie one time, and it was one of his favorite matches, but Jamie took like 15 water breaks.
I don't know.
Oh, man. That's funny. He got thirsty. He got a little thirsty. So, But anyway, well, man, that's all we got for this episode today, brother.
All right. That sounds like a winner. Chicken dinner.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week, but who knows what?
Hopefully something good, right?
Yeah, I think we have a guest lined up, but I'm not going to say it because it hasn't happened yet. So
right,
we got a couple lined up that hopefully here in the next month or so are going to be good ones. So y'all tune in and listen to us next week.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, it's the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze, and I'm inviting all of y'all to join me on my brand new podcast, Turning Up the Heat with the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and join me. I'll be covering all the events of the day, global, national, pop culture, movies, gaming, whatever sounds interesting. But I'll also be playing some awesome skating shuffle music from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Anything that has a good beat, I'm going to be playing it. You can rest assured. Come on over, tuthradio.com. The podcast is on every major podcast platform. See you then.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews, sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com. And to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to uswapodcast.com.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at WarrenWolf13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
He got a
cap for your dome.
And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color. From rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was N-O-D, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip hop. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. With my finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. Huh. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.